Hey guys, Artie here, and there's going to be some major changes to Adult Swim this January. It has been officially confirmed that both ACME Night and Toonami Rewind are getting the boot starting at the end of the year and won't make it into 2025. It doesn't stop there, because an hour is being shaven off of Checkered Past to make way for Family Guy slots coming back. So each Fox cartoon has an hour and a half of reruns, meaning the block will only run from 5 to 6 p.m. At the same time, Checkered Past will regain its old Friday slot previously occupied by Toonami Rewind, pretty much one step forward but two steps back. I could be wrong here, but it seems to me that this is the beginning of the end of Checkered Past. They lost an hour, they're not adding that many new shows anymore, and they have yet to air some specials that were skipped. So yeah, when are we getting Dexter's Ego Trip again? I know that last year before Checkered Past launched, the block was originally supposed to be an hour long starting at 6 p.m, but was pushed an hour earlier, so they had more room on the schedule. So why did they wait until now, unless it was because of Family Guy coming back? Or even declining viewership because they're not rotating the block and adding new shows enough? Maybe the block still has time because it was not scrapped with Toonami Rewind. First, let's start out with the most controversial change, Toonami Rewind being discontinued. On Toonami's Facebook page, they officially announced that the Toonami Rewind block will be retired on December 26, with the afternoon of January 3rd being Checkered Past shows in the Fox cartoons. Toonami Rewind being scrapped wasn't the head of scheduling's decision, but a decision made by the executives, like always. At the final month of the block's run where Dragon Ball Z Kai became the sole show left, I could tell that Toonami Rewind was on its way out. Whenever you see a programming block either drop most of their shows, or in this example, only air one single show, it's usually a sign that it's not going to last much longer. The only anime that rated well on modern Adult Swim, outside of the Toonami block, was Dragon Ball. I remember seeing it air consistently on Saturday evenings in 2018 and 2019. Many people on social media thought that Toonami Rewind's demise was indirectly caused by Family Guy returning to the channel. However, the truth is that the block didn't rate as well as the network wanted it to. And it was also expensive to license out two other anime shows to air on the channel, meaning it was a net loss. Not just that, it didn't meet the fans' overambitious expectations of various anime that are either no longer available to license out, or are too expensive to buy. It never got off the ground because fans of the block wanted to wait until their favorite anime came to the block, then watch the block instead of investing viewership, meaning the block didn't have a chance to grow. Meanwhile, with Checkered Past, fans kept watching the block and they started to slowly add other shows into the mix. Out of all the shows they could have selected for an afternoon Toonami block, they chose 3 of the most popular ones, and even then, it did not succeed. If even those shows couldn't keep the block afloat, could any anime work at all? Also, if you're upset about the block being discontinued, there is still light at the end of the tunnel. Naruto Classic will be joining the regular Toonami block on January 11th at 2:30 a.m. Moving on to ACME Night, it's not 100% confirmed the block is being permanently discontinued, but there are obvious signs it won't make it into 2025. So whenever ACME Night used to go on hiatus, they would air Futurama during the slots that would normally be taken up by the movie block. However, this time around, those slots on Sunday, January 5th are just the normal Adult Swim schedule minus Checkered Past, meaning ACME Night is gone for good. Now that they have pretty much every Fox cartoon except for The Simpsons. But at this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow miraculously get the rights in the future. They have no need for a movie block. Before the introduction of ACME Night, the only films they aired were The Room for April Fool's Day because it's ironically bad, and of course, their own movies based on Adult Swim originals. Also, they didn't need movies because that wasn't the point of the block. The only reason why they still have the block is because it was carried over when Cartoon Network lost their evening hours to Adult Swim in 2023. Even though ACME Night had some peculiar and interesting movie selections, such as the original Super Mario Bros. Movie in Pee-wee's Big Adventure that fell in line with Adult Swim's absurdist and surreal style of humor. It kind of sucked that they mainly stuck with mainstream blockbuster hits like Wonder Woman 1984 that did not fit the channel at all. If you are disappointed that ACME Night is likely ending, Thankfully, there are other WBD-owned networks to watch movies on, such as TBS and TNT, which air pretty much the same films as ACME Night. Since the block is most likely being discontinued, they'll probably play movies normally on Cartoon Network again. I hope they don't go overboard with it. As we head into 2025, Adult Swim is revamping their schedule with the reintroduction of Family Guy, Checkered Past trimming off an hour and regaining Fridays, and ACME Night could be permanently ending for real. Fingers crossed that they keep the scheduling strategy consistent into 2025 and don't follow the footsteps of Paramount by spamming the same few shows constantly, but I doubt it. Can't believe it's almost 2025 already. Time sure does fly. It feels like just yesterday it was 2022. Whoever is in charge of the time continuum, please slow it down. I forgot to say this at the beginning of the video, but Checkered Past should have been on Cartoon Network in the first place, and it's much more limited in terms of what they can air because of WBD's rule of what can or cannot air as children's and adults programming. The rule never made sense to me because back in 2014, they would air some shows on Boomerang and Adult Swim simultaneously and no one had a problem with it. Not just that, but didn't ACME Night used to have that purgatory hour where they would, by technicality, air Bob's Burgers and Futurama on Cartoon Network? But anyhow, I would really hate to see Checkered Past go, and they should continue to throw curveballs by introducing other unexpected shows, like they're doing in Latin America. It'll work to keep the audience engaged. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, notify, and check out other videos on the channel. You may like them. How do you feel about Toonami Rewind and ACME Night being axed from the channel and Checkered Past losing an hour? Could this be a sign that the block is on its last legs? Let me know in the comments. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of you!